Hello, YouTube. Now, you probably wonder why I got my flash on right now, so it's easier to see. But I'm actually going to talk about these new headphones that I got. I've had them for a couple of days. They're the new XM6s, actually. And I don't know if I've ever mentioned this in videos before about the XM6s, but I just decided to go ahead and get them and try them out. And honestly, they're not bad. They're not bad. I mean, now compared to the XM5s, I would say I mean, they might be slightly better than the XM5s. I wouldn't say that, I wouldn't say that they're completely perfect by any means. A lot of people are going to argue and say, oh, the Sonys are better than the AirPods Max, and in some ways, yes, in some ways, because they're the leather ear cups and things like that. And they're not as heavy, but though in the case, it's got a better case, of course. That's a lot of them, but I mean, if you care about purely like if you want something that has a good case and really good noise canceling and good sound, these are great for but if you want something that is luxurious and is built well and actually sounds really really good, and I know sound is subjective to everybody. Of course, sound is subjective, and I personally think the AirPods Max still hold their own when it comes to sound quality. I still feel like the sound on these is great, but I wouldn't say they're as nearly as good as the AirPods Max by any means. I'm not. These are basically better in every other way, in every other aspect compared to the AirPods Max, because the comfort wise, and things like that, and noise canceling. The sound's not bad by any means. I mean, for what it is, for what it costs, the sound is not bad. Though I feel like the AirPods Max definitely have a slight edge when it comes to the sound quality alone. If you care about sound, then yeah, you should definitely get the AirPods Max. But if you want the best all around, or something that's just that it's all about preference at the end of the day. And I feel like this is just my opinion. You can take it or leave it. It's completely up to you. And I guess on the upside though is there's one downside I want to talk about on these that I really don't like, is the fact that you can't listen to lossless audio via the USB-C port. Though the AirPods Max offer that, which I don't know, it probably doesn't really make a difference to maybe a little bit, but not much. But like I said, these allow you to listen to it. It's got an aux port, I guess, so that's better than nothing, I suppose. And you can charge them while listening to them, and that's a plus. That's a good thing, I guess. That's good. At least Sony does that. And the headband, though, I do want to talk about the headband a little bit. It is wide. It is comfortable, but I've noticed one problem that this seems to have that I did not notice with. I mean, the X5's top of the headband never really hurt my head, but it feels like these kind of hurt my head a little bit after a while. They start hurting my head. So I do want to mention that. I do want to mention they kind of hurt my head a little bit over time. And, they become fatiguing after a while, and I have to adjust them to kind of fix it. But the case, I love the magnetic design. I love it. Though it can be a little cumbersome at times. That's it's not bad. I like the compartments. I like the compactness. I like the way it folds. That's good. That's a positive. Overall, I would say these aren't bad headphones for the money. I mean, if you're not in the Apple ecosystem, these are great for Android users. These are definitely great. I mean, if you're an Apple user, these are not bad either. If you want to get them, that is. But the AirPods Max are definitely for Apple users. It's really meant for Apple devices. I feel like, I guess if you really were going to get something made by Apple, I would suggest getting Beats, if you're going to use an Android. But there again, Beats is not the greatest in the world by any means. And a lot of people may agree, say it still has a long way to go. I still feel like Beats still has a lot more improvement they need to make. Overall, like I said, if I was going to give these an honest rating, I would give these an 8.5 out of 10. They're not bad. 8.5 because 8.5, something like around those lines, because they're great. But I wouldn't say they're perfect. No, they're not perfect, because there again, no headphone is. What headphone is. But yeah, that pretty much sums up my overall opinion and what I think and how I feel about these headphones. I feel like you're getting a really good deal. I feel like you're getting a great deal because they fold. That's a plus. They got a power button. The power button there's some physical differences. The power button's definitely a lot bigger. Now it's the button on it now says noise canceling ambient. And overall, I feel like there's a lot of that Sony has came a long way with these. Overall, I think that's just that's my view. That's just how I feel about them. And I know I don't make videos as often as I want. I mean, so most of the time I don't make them often because I just choose not to, because I feel like I should give the videos some time to see how they perform before I make another video. I just, I do it every now and then whenever I feel like it, and I review just whatever I feel like. And I have some other stuff that I'm probably going to review soon. Forgive me, but like I said, that's all. This has already dragged on way too long, so I'm going to go ahead and end this here. I hope you enjoyed this review. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe and comment below what your thoughts are and whether you agree with me or not. And keep it respectful after all. It's just a discussion. We're not here to hate on anybody or shaming anybody. Everybody has a right to like what they want to like, and have their own opinions. Everybody has that right to think for themselves. That's perfectly fine. As long as you're civil, as long as you don't argue, as long as you don't get into fights and don't call each other names, we're going to be okay. Which I don't know if that'll happen or not. It happened on the internet, I know. I'm rambling. But yeah, overall, I'll see you in the next video.